The WBC have granted Deontay Wilder permission to take a voluntary defense. This comes after the revelation and that Alexander Povetkin was on performance-enhancing drugs in the lead up to his scheduled mandatory challenge to Deontay Wilder, which never went ahead. The WBC actually the people that pulled the plug on that fight because of Povetkin's failed drug tests. So they've said, okay, we're going to investigate right now. We're going to get to the bottom of this whole situation with Povetkin. And in the meantime, Wilder's allowed to go take a voluntary defense. Wilder has come out in a couple of interviews and said that he's very concerned about the length of time it's taken to make a judgment on Alexander Povetkin. He's saying, why hasn't this guy been banned yet? What's going on here? Why is he not being punished? Why are we talking about rescheduling the fight already and not talking about let's issue a ban? And at this point in time, Deontay Wilder actually doesn't seem interested in fighting Povetkin anymore. He's even gone as far as saying, if the WBC don't punish Povetkin in some sort of way, in terms of, ruling that he has to pay Wilder and compensate him for his training camp and all that, and also giving Povetkin a ban, if they don't do that, then he's considering relinquishing, vacating the WBC belt. This is something that a lot of people were anticipating Wilder was going to do rather than go through with the Povetkin fight in Russia. Wilder didn't do that. Now, there are some people now saying Wilder is a guy with pride. So if he'd pulled out and he'd vacated before this Povetkin fight was supposed to take place, then he would have looked bad. He didn't have an excuse. He didn't have a legitimate excuse that he could fall back on. So he had to try and just go through with it and say, you know what? I'm getting paid a lot of money. If I get knocked out, I get knocked out. This is the opinion of some people. But now that Povetkin has failed his drug tests, those same people are saying, well, you see now, Wilder's got the perfect excuse to vacate. He can now vacate without looking like a coward in the eyes of many. So he's going to be able to do what he wanted to do from the beginning and get the hell out of the situation. I'll let you guys decide on what you think about that. Other people are going to say, well, imagine if you were in Wilder's shoes. You trained your heart out, made all these concessions. You're the champion and you're going over to the next guy's backyard and he tests positive for drugs. And the WBC, whose belt you hold, basically don't do anything about it. They don't punish the guy. They don't ban him. They don't suspend him. Nothing. All they do is they say, okay, take a voluntary defense and you'll fight him later on in the year in Russia still. Wouldn't you lose confidence in that organization? Wouldn't you think, wow, this organization don't have my back? This organization is supposed to suspend this guy or give this guy a ban. Why are they acting as though he didn't test positive? I was clean my whole camp. I did everything I was supposed to do. This guy didn't, and yet he's not being punished. What's with that? Do I really want to hold a belt of an organization that's going to allow a drug cheat to blatantly get away with something like this? That's what Wilder's saying, and obviously the pro-Wilder people are also saying that. So we'll see what happens here. We'll see whether Wilder does vacate. And if he does, people are entitled to their opinions. Some people are going to say Wilder wanted to do it all along. What we can never take away from Wilder is the fact that he did sign up to go over there to Russia, and the fight absolutely would have happened had Povetkin not been taking this drug, meldonium, however you want to pronounce it. And some people are still making excuses for Povetkin. There are no excuses. According to Dan Rayfield, and also according to Lou DiBella, Wilder's promoter, the World Anti-Doping Agency, WADA, who are not the people that conducted the test, they are the overall regulatory body for drug testing in world sports, okay? And they are the standard bearers, basically. They don't go and drug test everybody in every sport, but they hold the standard. That's why they're called the World Anti-Doping Agency, WADA. Now, WADA issued a memo to boxers, okay, in all these different countries where meldonium was being used, informing these fighters that they were going to ban meldonium from the 1st of January 2016. They issued this memo in September 2015, several months before the ban came into effect. Okay? And when the ban did come into effect and the Wilder-Povetkin fight was signed, Povetkin tested negative, I believe, 2 or 3 times. And then on his final test in late April, he tested positive. So what are the chances that the meldonium he had in his system was just, residual trace elements of meldonium which had lingered since he'd used it in September? Because that's what him and his team are claiming, that he stopped using it in September. So why would you test negative 3 times and then test positive the 3rd time? Was he somehow finding a way to get around those first 3 tests? These are random tests. They do jump on you at random times. Mike Tyson, since retiring, has come out and admitted that he cheated drug tests on many occasions. He said that he used, and yeah, it is quite funny. You can go and Google this particular device. They actually sell them. He said he used something called, well, I think he called it is plastic willy or something like that. That's what he called it. But it's called a Wizinator. And it's basically a prosthetic dick, yeah, which has some type of pouch mechanism that can hold somebody else's urine. So when the testing people come, they're not literally going to stand over you and look at your dick when you're pissing into the cup. They're going to stand a couple feet away. So they won't really know whether you're using a plastic dick or not. And Mike Tyson said he cheated many drug tests using his plastic dick. All right. Now, how many other fighters are using that to cheat drug tests? And you can only do it, obviously, cheating urine tests. You can only cheat urine tests that way. You obviously can't cheat a blood test in the same type of way. And to my understanding, these tests that Povetkin was getting were urine tests, not blood tests. He passed the first 2 or 3 and failed the final one. So was there some shenanigans going on during the first couple tests where he was managing to circumvent the test somehow or get round it, and that's why they came out clean, whereas the final test came up dirty with, yes, trace elements of trace amounts of meldonium, and that's what makes it even more intriguing, doesn't it? That lends credence to the idea that maybe those first 3 or first 2 test results, that there was some type of funny business going on there. Maybe he was using a Wizinator. Who knows? Again, we know for a fact, because Povetkin and his team have admitted it, that Povetkin has used meldonium. And whatever you think about meldonium, whatever you think about whether Povetkin has taken this before or after the ban, the fact of the matter is meldonium has gone on the ban list because it is a performance enhancer and quite a powerful one. And this goes a long way, actually, to explaining how Povetkin has had this resurgence in his career. It's because he's been taking this meldonium stuff, assuming he hasn't been taking other stuff as well. This meldonium is the reason he was able to go 12 rounds with Klitschko, having Klitschko lean all over him. I was absolutely amazed that he was able to last 12 rounds with a massive guy leaning all over him and not get tired and all the while getting punched in the head. I was amazed by that. It's because he was taking meldonium. That's why. That's why. Same with his performances against Takam and all these other guys. The meldonium has been enhancing his performances. Let's not get it confused here, people. So it's a good thing they banned it. That's my take on it. If Wilder does vacate, let me know what your opinion is. Is this what he wanted to do all along? Is this the excuse that he's been waiting for? Was he just willing to bite the bullet before because it was a big payday and he didn't want to look like a punk? But now he's got a perfect get out of jail free card? Is that your view? If it is, drop it in the comment section below. As I always say, no fighter is below praise, and no fighter is above criticism, including Deontay Wilder, Povetkin, all these guys. That's how I roll on my channel. Let me know how you feel. It's your boy Hatman, I'm out. Actually, no. One last thing before I go. In this voluntary defense that Wilder has been granted, who would you like to see him fight? He has to fight somebody in the WBC top 15. I haven't actually looked. Very unprofessional of me. You'll have to forgive me. Maybe I'll put a screenshot of the WBC top 15 on screen right now so you can deliberate and decide who you think Wilder should pick out of that top 15. That's assuming he keeps hold of the belt and don't vacate. And assuming he does, you know, even if he does keep hold of the belt, that's assuming he chooses to make a voluntary defense. So, yeah, if he does, who would you like to see him face out of the top 15? People have brought up names like Luis Ortiz. I don't think Luis Ortiz is ranked in the WBC top 15. We'll soon see. You'll see the graphic on screen right now if he is. Maybe he is, I don't know. But whatever the case may be, let me know who you would like to see Wilder face in that voluntary defense, all right? It's your boy Hatman, I'm out.